This meeting is being recorded. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lori Yoakum. I'm the director here at the library, and today we have a representative of Cozad Community Leaders with us to do a little chat. Before we get going too far, I just want to remind everybody that this is October. Next month, our community chat is going to be, her name is Haley, I want to say Eshelman. Don't quote me on the last name, from Two Rivers Health System. So she's going to come and talk to us and chat with us about everything going on. So I hope you have gotten your flu shots. I haven't. Anyway, Mandy Swanson is here from Cozad Community Leaders, and she's going to tell us a little bit about who they are and what they do and how you can get involved. And I'm just making sure, because I had problems yesterday, that we actually have sound today. And we do. Welcome, Mandy.
Yes, thanks for having me. So Mandy Swanson with Cozad Community Leaders, formerly JC's. Just over the last year, we've kind of officially transitioned to the Cozad Community Leaders name. We kind of did a whole calendar year of a little bit of both and just kind of trying to ease into that, because I think as other organizations have found that, you know, such as United Way that had to switch, that's sometimes a hard transition for people, for your whole community that know this group and know the things that they've done as Cozad JCs. And I think even for myself, I've been a member for probably 11 years, I think now. It's hard for me to, and I know that people are comfortable with the Cozad JCs name, and so I find myself referencing, calling us Cozad JCs also, but Cozad Community Leaders. So the reason we transitioned from Cozad JCs, quite honestly, was the fees that were involved in that organization.
At a national level?
Yes, at a national level. So we were part of the United States Junior Chamber is what JC's was, and we had to pay dues. We had to keep a minimum membership, and for whatever reason, and I think a lot of the groups that I'm involved in are seeing this, and I think it's possibly just the multiple opportunities that people have to be involved with stuff. I don't think that people are volunteering less. Their time is just spread a little thinner. There's a lot of opportunities, you know, as communities grow and develop to, you know, to help coach different things and lead different activities, and that kind of pulls at everybody from different directions. So we were seeing some regression in the JC's group as far as keeping that fully staffed, so to speak, and we just kind of felt like since most of the money that we earn from the projects that we do and the events through the year, we put all of that back into the community, that was, say, $1,000 that could be going to something that we cared, you know, got a little more bang for our buck for. So we just kind of looked at what the benefits of being the members, which sort of like an AARP membership, you know, you get some discounted printing and stuff like that, things that our members weren't really using with the JC's title. And so we just decided to go to Cozad Community Leaders, which we felt was a good fit. The people that are involved in our group are professionals in this community, and they care about things that are happening here. They, a lot of them have families of their own, and want to see things continue to thrive here. We want to have things to do. We want to have things that support and benefit. And so what the group does is, one, just social networking. It's a place for when teachers are coming to town, when we have new nurses, when we have different people coming to the area to work. It's an excellent group to get involved in, just to meet some other like-minded people that are working in the professional community, but also just need some adult time and need to get to know, you know, when you go to the grocery store, there's a lot of people in the group that I can honestly say would probably have never had any contact with, but it's great to see them out in public. You know, you just go out for supper, you walk past them in the grocery store, and, you know, somebody that you would normally have just passed in the hallway and maybe said hi, but that you actually know these people. So I think it's a great opportunity for especially new people to town, or coming back to town if you're from Cozad, to just get involved, for a community that you want to support and that will support you, because I think in a small town, that's important for people to get involved and do those kind of things, I guess. So may or may not know, most of the activities that the Cozad Community Leaders continue to do are things that the JCs had started. So the primary one that's went for long time is, of course, Heydays. JC's, now Cozad Community Leaders, does everything Heydays. We do the carnival, we do the parade, we do the Little Miss and Mister, we do the bike giveaway. Thankfully, even though that's a super huge project, it almost runs itself. I don't want to downplay, what goes into that, but it takes lots of our members, but just when we break that up, and that's why we want to encourage people to keep getting involved. We want to try to reach out to the new teachers, to the new people in town, or, just somebody, maybe not even new to town, but just looking to get out, and encourage them to come be a part of that, because with a lot of groups, I think you see the same people getting involved. And so that causes, I don't want to say burnout. I think the people that are doing it do enjoy it, but it just stretches everybody a little bit thin sometimes. So Heydays is an example of that, where there's a lot of little roles, a lot of details to do, but when you can get 20 people involved with making flyers or making some contacts, setting up food vendors, that kind of stuff. Other main events that we host every year are the Easter egg hunt. We've had it a couple different places, kind of trying to find our niche with that, but still have excellent success. Lots of people come out to that. Love to, and as far as I know, I think we're the only organization that does an Easter egg hunt in town now. So something that we hope to be able to keep doing.
Where did you have that this year?
Now we have been doing it at Veterans Park. The city does an excellent job at getting that clean, everything ready for us. It's a nice, there's restrooms there if somebody needs those. So lots of little kids roaming around, and it's naturally divided. So we can set up, ahead of time in all the different areas. And so that's worked out great for us to have it at Veterans Park the last couple of years.
Yeah, because it used to be like when you had it at the high school field, like
Yep.
you'd set it up and then one group would go and then you'd have to go set it up.
Yes. And so we always hope that we can have it outdoors. The Wellness Center has always been a gracious backup for us, but it's a little bit different to just throw everything on the gym floor and to actually go out and hunt
and run.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the Veterans Park has been an excellent place for us to host that event. Holiday Shop is something that JC's and now Cozad Community Leaders, I keep reverting back, I keep saying JC's, has taken over. I can't exactly remember how many years we've done that event. I used to, when I had a small child, was involved with the Moms of Cozad group, and they had organized this, and several groups before that. But that has really grown into what it is today, and that's something that a lot of community businesses get involved in, and then the Cozad Community Leaders goes and shops for all kinds of gifts. There's no monetary requirement from anybody in the community. There's no financial stipulations or whatever. Anybody that wants to. It is amazing to see kids come in there and they get to shop for their moms, their dads, their brothers, sisters, and with no quote unquote guidance, I guess. They can go out and, they say, oh, my dad would love this. And you're kind of thinking, I don't know if he will. But they are so excited to pick something by themselves that mom and dad does not know about. It's a surprise. We package it right then and there. And so that is a super fun event for kids.
So kids come in.
Yes, parents are not able to come in. They cannot see even what the items in there. We get usually a group from the high school that usually like FCCLA or something, they'll have some of their volunteers come and they take the kids into the group. And so elementary age children, that's open too. And they come in. Parents aren't allowed to come in with them if they're not old enough to feel comfortable to walk with someone. Then sort of discourage that. I think once they're going to school, that's kind of a time frame and age group where they usually can come out with someone. So,
do you guys pay for all of that?
So we do, yes. So we ask for donations. We send letters out to the community, and businesses are very gracious with that. I think a lot of the events that we do, are very good examples of how a little bit from a lot of people goes a long ways. And so if we can get, 50 businesses to do $20, we're not asking someone to sponsor big. And that's something that every person, myself, any one of us usually can say, here's $20. Like, I can't give you a $5,000 donation to front this whole thing. But if everybody does a little bit, that's kind of the events that we try to be a part of, I guess, so that we can get as many people involved in doing something really big and great for our community.
Are you a 501c3?
We are, yes. So, yep, nonprofit, and we can do, so we can send out letters. Usually we're not asking for big donations. Most of the events, like I said, we're just looking for any little bits and with the holiday shop, the nice thing with that is the retail stores, they can say, Rustic and Red, for example, this is some stuff that did not sell or is out of season, or we got this specially, and they are very gracious donors of actual product. So instead of a cash donation, the retail stores can say, these are some extra things that we think, and even, some other donors have a great time. They go out and buy some board games or buy some basketballs or, things like that. And so that's an opportunity for you to donate in any way that you want to.
And where do you hold this?
Where do we hold the actual event at? At the Grand Generation Center. Yep. And
When is that going to be this year?
It's always the first Saturday in December. So I don't have that date right off the top of my head, but whatever that first Saturday in December, that is.
And do
kind
kids
of
have to sign up?
They do. So probably we have a meeting coming up for our group. We always meet on a Monday night in every month is our scheduled meetings. And then we will start planning probably for holiday shop at this particular meeting. And then in November, they pre-register, and that's kind of transitioned a little bit. We're trying to get a little more electronic and trying to be a little more savvy because people just are busy and it's hard sometimes to get in, but trying to get the kinks worked out of that. But yeah, so they pre-register. So we kind of have an idea how many guys gifts do we need, how many moms and babies and, older siblings and whatever that looks like. And then whoever the chair people for that particular event are, we go to Walmart or Five Below, or sometimes just wherever we feel comfortable. And we also try to utilize the local, any stores, into the hardware store and the Tractor Supply, Dollar General. Those stores give us some great deals also, so we can support, take the money that was donated, support locally. We do the Haymaker store at the school so that we can have some fun golf towels and just things like that. So there are areas in Cozad that we're able to support with those from the backside also. Use our funding. So we participate in the Chamber's Spook Night. So just have a booth to be an extra. So that's kind of not our event, but something that our members go out into the community. One of my favorite long-standing is the cake and silent auction, formerly just the cake auction, but we realized that not everybody needs a whole sheet cake or,
And you took that over from March of Dimes.
It has always been the JC's group that did that, but the March of Dimes was the primary donor, the benefactor of the proceeds. And so we kind of for a couple years split that and still did the March of Dimes and then chose a local group. And then several years ago, I don't recall exactly how many, we just kind of decided that the amount of funds that we got from that would be extremely beneficial to local groups. And so we've been able to donate very significant amounts to the Hawk Center and to the fire department, the After Zone program.
Cozad Childcare.
Yep, Cozad Childcare.
I know the Cozad
Camp
150.
Nika, yep, and the Cozad 150. So all kinds of groups. And I mean, it's about the most productive bake sale you can ever imagine. And again, just like I talked about, it's when a lot of people, it's when me and you just bake a cake or some cupcakes, some cookies, put a basket together. It's everybody doing one little bit, or you can come and purchase something. We start the bidding at $5. The banks are we do a rotation with Homestead Bank Security First and Waypoint that each year one of those banks is the blanket bid. So they agree to bid $5 on every single item that's donated. And then from there, everything goes up. And once everything is gone, If there's anything left, then the bank will buy those at $5. But typically everything just goes.
Well, and you used to have, do you still have that like $75 at yours?
Yep. So
Instant
Yep.
gratification?
yes, that's exactly. Businesses were saying, well, we would really like to just take this back to our break room and eat these cinnamon rolls right now, or have cookies or whatever. And so we kind of did put that in place just a couple years ago, that $75 is the buy now. And so if you come in and you want to take that cheesecake with you right now, so you can, and
Are there any items that are not instant gratification? Like you're gonna let those bid up
Yeah.
all day long?
So this last year, we did decide to do that. And so that'll be something that we'll kind of revisit and see if we felt like that was something that we wanted or didn't want. We had a couple people that had indicated that the value of what they were donating was higher than 75, and they would like for the Cozad Community Leaders to get a better benefit from that. And so this year we did make a table of some things that we know from past history would go higher, that are very active
Like
items,
certain people
very high demand.
make cinnamon rolls
Yes,
or
yes.
pies or.
I think everybody knows about the Truesdale cinnamon rolls. They're lined up before they even get there sometimes, to get those hot and fresh in the morning.
Brownfields
Yes,
pies.
yes. So there's definitely a couple items that people are waiting for. They expect to be at the event. And I mean, I am comfortable saying that several thousands of dollars is raised from that bake sale. It's a single day. People drop off in the morning, and then at the 5 o'clock in the afternoon, we start to close that down and just do a silent auction. And then all proceeds, 100% of that, go back out into whatever event.
Do you guys announce beforehand who the money's going to?
We do, yes. And that's also something that's great to see, that when we do select that, the Cozad Child Care, for example, the parents and the people that are involved in that organization were very gracious in making donations. Grandparents were very excited to, bring something in to help benefit that program. And so sometimes that makes a difference, and we don't consciously decide that for that reason, but, sometimes the organizations that they're going to benefit really get behind. And instead of them having to buy T-shirts, or whatever, they say, well, I'll just bake a cake, and then you can come and buy those, and some other people can get involved with that. So spending your $20.
Many years ago, the two competition things that I can remember were Eunice Kissel's.
Yes.
It's chocolate cake, German chocolate
German
cake.
chocolate cake.
And my mother-in-law's homemade pretzels.
Oh, really? I do love homemade
Well,
pretzels.
Did she not teach you how to make those?
Yes, I can do that, but not that way, just for myself on special occasions.
Yes, we talk about it often, the things that, people would get in bidding wars about, and,
Right.
Raise it up. And so that does happen sometimes, where we don't intentionally mean for it to not be the $75 buy now, but if someone bids higher than the 75, just as a donation to the group, and, wants to see that go a little higher, sometimes they'll just come in, put a bid at $80, and then it's off the buy now because there's a bid higher than that amount at that time.
Oh,
So,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So you might have actually put it on the buy now, but
right.
if it goes above that for the
Higher.
first bid, then.
Then it's taken off the buy now because it has a bid that's higher, and that person, for whatever reason, thankfully chose to just let that sit and see where it went to. So an event that we really have gotten a lot of great feedback from, that we've only taken over for a couple years, is Music Mondays. We have gotten a lot of feedback about when that works best for everybody. And unfortunately, that's just, I think with everything, there's not a perfect time to do all the things. But so August is when we do all the Mondays in August. We have been doing the Music Mondays, and we line up 4 weeks, 5 weeks of sponsors. So a business, for example, the hospital, the health community, Cozad Community Health Systems. I was trying to spit that out there. They are a common donor for that, and then we allow them to come in, and they can promote their business in any way that they want during the week that they are the benefactor or the promoter of those.
Do they pick the band, or you guys pick the band,
Nope.
they just sponsor?
Yep, so we have a set dollar amount that we pay the bands to come out, and we usually have, so you know that the Library Foundation typically hosts the DJ, and so we open up the gates, have a DJ for a little bit, kind of as background music for the food part, and then for 2 hours, we pay a set fee, and that's what the whoever the vendor is for that week. They provide us with a little bit of help. This also kind of came about, so we took this over from Cozad Development Corporation, who did not have a ton of staff. And so when the vendors sign up to help, then they also supply us with some labor. And so we have to put fence up. We do have someone local come in and be a liquor vendor. And then we can also promote, this last year we did a dessert vendor also. So that added some of the groups that maybe couldn't commit to having a full-on meal for the whole thing. And typically each week we see about 200 to 300 people attending the Music Mondays event. So we feel like for the size of community that's an excellent thing that people enjoy coming out and just relaxing, sitting down, maybe having some food vendors that aren't local, which of course we always want to be cognizant of shopping local and spending local and eating. And I hope that everybody does still do that. But just for those 4 weeks and, 4 Mondays in August, we do bring in some alternative meals. And I think people really enjoy getting some options in that
Well,
area.
when we started doing Music Mondays,
Uh-huh.
originally, the whole reason we picked Mondays were a lot of restaurants in Cozad were
Right,
not open.
right.
So if you wanted to have kind of a nice meal, you were really limited to the fast food
Yeah.
options, and nothing against them. But
Right,
it's like,
absolutely.
the food trucks were kind of a fun new thing.
Yes, that's
And
correct.
I think it's really great that you guys have taken that to the next level and have offered it to organizations as kind of a fundraiser for them to
Yeah.
make food too.
So, and I think everybody's, over the last couple of years, especially since the pandemic, that if areas have struggled trying to get the proceeds that they need to get their groups and get their things funded, I guess. And so they're looking for opportunities for fundraising. So we are also this year looking into some ways that we can kind of level that playing field, because we have a lot of people that would like that opportunity to be down there. And so what we're going to do to spread that out and offer that to some different groups also. So, but yeah, that's something that we've been able to provide some different kinds of music, sometimes music that you didn't even know that you would like or enjoy. So it's been kind of fun. And the kids, I think, come down there and also an excellent use of our green space. I love being able to utilize that, and that area is available for that, because that works out perfect. So.
And it's a fun way for other people from out of town to come over. I know when you've had formerly 3 out of Lexington, there's usually a little Lexington contingent.
Yes. So yeah, some great tourism opportunities to bring in people from other areas. And then also, I know Meadowlark brings out it's really literally for everybody being pushed in there, from a stroller to someone being pushed in a wheelchair. It's for every age, all genres. So lots of just good social networking, I guess, and socializing, so which is important. And thankfully, for the most part, the weather has been fairly cooperative. Sometimes we're a little toasty and we got a little bit of rain out this year. But for the most part, we've been fairly lucky with the Mother Nature on those days too. The other thing that we do is the Winter Wonderland Parade. So that kind of falls during when we're doing the holiday shop. We do the Winter Wonderland Parade in the first Monday in December. And that is Santa's introduction to town. We bring that Santa in on the Cozad Community Leaders float. The only rule is to just have your float lit up. And so we get sometimes we get good weather, sometimes we get not so good weather with that. And then that also gives an opportunity. We try to also, for all of the events that we host, give an opportunity for other organizations in town to also utilize the people that are congregating, I guess. So the Grand Generation Center is able to offer a dinner at that time. When we do our cake auction, that's at the Elks Club. And so that gives that business an opportunity to kind of be involved. And so we always try to help benefit any other groups that we can while we're doing our thing also. I think for the most part, heydays, the profit that we make from heydays sustains our group for the whole entire year. That's any operating funds. And then we also do some fun things for our members, just to, because you can't just work all the time, right?
Do the members have to pay dues?
We do not. When we were part of the JC's group, the group just gave that money. We paid the national organization, and then we don't have any dues for the Cozad Community Leaders. We ask that you attend at least one meeting a quarter and that you participate in helping with one of the events each quarter. So that's kind of what we consider your dues. And so then we buy shirts and we, have lunches and picnics, and we do, plan fun events and things for the group to kind of get together. We have a Christmas party and some prizes and stuff like that. So we kind of consider your time your dues, and because that's valuable, but you get out of things what you put into them sometimes. And so as many meetings as people are able to attend, as many events as you can attend, I would say, the business that I work for, so most people know that I'm at Waypoint, not only for my personal life to just get out and network with people, but that's also an excellent networking for the business that I'm in. Waypoint wants the community to know that I work there and what I do there. And so when they think about, meeting a loan or things. So for also the businesses that people are in, that's also a great thing that this organization can offer, that, I know a realtor and I know someone who's a teacher, a lawyer, whatever. So for your professional lives, it's also a great opportunity.
How many community leaders are there?
I would say approximately 20 active members right now. There are some people that obviously less active and more active.
Or are there some people that, they just really want to help with heydays?
Yes.
And they don't want to do anything.
And so
or do you have
the
committees?
other reason that we kind of also transitioned from JC's to Cozad Community Leaders is because JC's aged out. At 40 years old, you could no longer be a part of JC's. And so several people, myself included, turned 40 and was not quite ready to be put out to pasture. This is a group that I am pretty passionate about, that I really enjoy the events that we participate in. And I also think that it's important for people to understand that if you want your community to have these things, if you want your kids to have an Easter egg hunt, there has to be people that volunteer to host those events. There has to be people that organize paydays and that organize the Easter egg hunt. And so I guess my message is also that we need members, and without members, eventually there will be less time that I want to, do these things, and more time that I need to spend on family things and whatever. And so as people take those natural life transitions and kind of go and need to do their own things, we need to have people filling those spaces. So I hope that it's definitely something that people will consider if they have ever thought about being involved. It's definitely a no pressure kind of thing. You can come to the meeting if you want. If you don't, that's fine.
It's not like a secret
nobody's going to
initiation.
call you and ask why you're not there. Or
do you guys do it? So do you guys do any open call, hey, come see what we're about?
So we just try to make it an announcement, I guess. This is our meeting, come if you'd like. And then we also, within our own businesses, wherever we work at, try to get your coworkers, or if you have a new buddy that moved to town and, working at the school or wherever, we try to just make people aware that the meetings are open to the public, I guess. And then also the newest thing, that there is not an age limit. So maybe somebody that was involved and then hasn't been for, 5 years or so, but enjoyed doing that. We would love to have you come to the meetings, love to help you play. There's my husband, for example, he's kind of a workhorse on he's not going to come to the meetings, and he doesn't want to be in charge. He doesn't want to organize things, but he'll help us, get the heydays float put together and
run and extension.
Yes. Yes. They're painting and hammering and cutting things, and they can haul boxes and, stuff like that. So we we need the workhorses if the organization part is not something that you're interested in also either.
I'm guessing you have, you're on social media, website.
Yep, so Facebook, I'm gonna say, is our primary communication. That's where we put out most of our events, and we try to create events for anything that we do want some feedback about or that we feel like we're gonna have a lot of posts about, so that people get kind of constant updates. We've been kind of working a little more with boosting our posts. We found that that actually reaches a little bit wider range and gets a little better involvement. So yeah, Facebook, I'm going to say, is probably our most common social
And
media.
people can find you at Cozad Community Leaders.
At Cozad Community Leaders, yeah. So
You talked a little bit about JC's was, or is, a junior chamber.
Mhm.
So is that still your goal as community leaders, is to kind of build up and give some people some leadership skills to help with the chamber, like to move into that?
I would definitely say I would,
Or
when
other-
yes,
other
absolutely. So when I first started, that was definitely what was considered the transition. People would be JCs, and then once you aged out of that organization, then not expected, but you maybe had a little more network. Yes, exactly. To move on to be part of the chamber board and for that to be a part of the Cozad chamber. And then once you were out of that position, then the ambassadors would be kind of the natural progression, right, of that. And so now, honestly, I think we see people just be involved in all of those things. There's no, again, because our group does not age out, and we're seeing members, both young and old, become involved with the chamber. And then, of course, ambassadors is an excellent program to promote the community as well. So even though, you know, if that's something you don't feel comfortable being a part of the chamber, I hope that the idea is that Cozad Community Leaders would kind of give you the connections and the comfort level to go out and be involved in those kinds of.
Yeah, so if you actually had to say like your vision or your mission, what's the Cozad Community Leaders mission or overarching goal?
I don't know, just community impact, I guess. Just filling a void, looking for things that need to be done in the community, and, you know, so that we can continue to have things to do here and, you know, make it a place that's enjoyable and that people, specifically young professionals, but now anybody, you know, that is a pretty wide range. It can be a pretty wide range. So anybody that feels like they're a young professional maybe, can just stay involved and be part of improving and making things happen here. I hesitate to say a volunteer group because I think that sounds scary. That sounds like it has a lot of implication behind it. You know, that people feel like, oh, I don't want to just carte blanche, just be volunteering for stuff. I want to know, you know, have a specific goal. So I would say networking is my number one thing that I think is important for this group, that it's just, you can be involved in as little or as much as you want to, and just get to know people that, you know, maybe after the meeting you can go out and have supper with or drink or go get coffee with, or maybe they work with you and you don't even know it, or, you know, you've never spoken to them before. So I love that aspect.
When do you meet?
We meet on Monday nights. So sometimes the second Monday of each month, we meet for it takes, I'm going to say we probably have an hour to an hour and a half meeting at 6 o'clock on Monday nights. We've been utilizing the CDC conference room. That's an excellent space for us to meet at. And sometimes when it's nice, we just go to the park and it's just a little less formal. We used to do people's homes, like, you know, because we kind of thought, well, maybe that's kind of a more relaxed setting. It's not so business, you know, everybody's sitting, but then we also feel we want to be respectful of everybody's time also. And so sometimes that we would order a meal or that person would make, you know, something, and then we would sit, which is an excellent opportunity for us to kind of socialize. But then for people that are like, my kids need baths and we got homework and, you know, whatever. So we got other stuff to do. So we want to be cognizant of that also. So
Do you guys have officers, and who are they?
we do. So this year, Savannah Peden is our president, and so we'll be transitioning. I'm not sure this month or next month we'll vote on new, but Savannah Peden has been an excellent asset to the group, and so she's our president right now. Will Hupp, an attorney at Hartheiser and Miller, pardon me. I worked there, and there was Sedbeck, and that's been a long, long time ago. He is the treasurer, so keeps our books and stuff. And then Carly Buss, who is at the hospital now. She's kind of our marketing person and gets some posts out on Facebook and kind of pushes things that way. So we kind of combined the vice president and the treasurer position because we didn't really have anything for that person to do. And as you can imagine, people aren't jumping to be the officer role. So we thought if we could just narrow that down a little bit. The marketing person also does a kind of our networking and our kind of our push. And so that's the kind of the gist behind putting the posts out that our meetings are open and that kind of stuff.
So then, I think I asked this, but I think it got lost in another question. Do you have like committees and committee chairs?
So we do, but not, so it just kind of comes up. So like I mentioned, we're going to soon talk about getting ready for the holiday shop. So at the meeting, we'll say, okay, does anybody want to be a chair? Do you want to co-chair? So that's an event that, you know, maybe just those two people. Then for Heydays, for example, we need somebody to be in charge of the parade. We need someone to be in charge of the Little Miss and Mister. We need someone. So that obviously breaks down into a bunch of different groups. And so then those people can kind of report back. And it's always, you know, you always have a sounding board. And most of these events we've done for years and years. And so there's kind of some progress of, you know, that we kind of have a sort of a
like a timeline.
Yeah, so it says 4 weeks before the event, do these things. And yeah,
Same with
exactly.
like music Monday.
Yes, yep. So anybody that wants to get involved, you know, even though some of these events seem like, holy cow, I don't have time to plan Heydays. Like, you know, it's really when we can split it up in 20 people and you just have a little piece and we just need somebody to create a flyer, or we need you to see, you know, what food vendors want to be downtown or those kinds of things. So.
Awesome.
So we're busy, but a good busy, I think. I mean, a busy that makes you also have things to do in your community. So I like it. And
so am I correct though that you guys maybe, I don't want to say help, but you're still a part of the chamber? You still, like you said, you're a part of Spook Night, even though that's not your event.
So yeah, so when other groups have things, then, and those are things that we can be a part of. So we're a booth that presents at Spook Night. We are a chamber member. You know, we pay dues and we utilize the services, yeah, that the chamber is able to, as far as promoting our group. Anything that other groups are doing, we try to, you know, see if we can be involved and we help out. And, you know, for example, with the chamber, we sponsor the golf tournament. And that's also another perk of being a part of the Cozad Community Leaders. For several years, we have sponsored our members to be on the co-ed volleyball team at the Wellness Center, or to have a golf team in the chamber tournament. So anything that our group wants to be involved in, we want you to be a part of that. And so if we can pay the membership dues or whatever the sign up fees are to be at trivia night for a charitable fund, or you know, lots of different things like that, then we love to take advantage and get you involved and kind of pair you up. We give you an opportunity to pair up with some other people that you already kind of know and have some other likes with. So
here's a question, just because I was out talking to the high school seniors today. Do you guys do a scholarship?
We do. So it's $1,000, which is, we feel like, a substantial amount. And of course we look at that. Obviously college is getting out of control, but so yeah, that's open to any Cozad seniors. We do a scholarship at their senior night each year. So that's kind of our way of giving back. We love to see that go, quite honestly, to people who have been involved in helping with the events that we sponsor. So the kids that come from their groups and they host booths at Music Mondays, or they help us at Holiday Shop, we see them having, helping with Spook Night, maybe FFA or whomever is down there. The theater groups are parts of our events sometimes. So we love to see on their application that they have helped with some kind of community events, because we want to promote kids that are, going to go to college and get involved in things that help those communities, or plan to move back and do similar groups like we're involved in. So
Nice. I thought
but
that.
not a guarantee. So seniors definitely apply.
That's what we were talking about. It's like, you can't get a scholarship if you don't apply.
Yes, you have to apply.
Jose or Marlene, do you have any questions?
I don't, well, kind of a question. Speaking of the parades
Yep.
and over heydays, I always stand and watch at the Henry.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And it's really hard to see their label on the front or the back.
Oh,
I think they should all be required to have it on the side.
all of the floats need to say who they are. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely.
And mostly, I think it's the cars, the tractors, things like that.
Yeah, put something on there that says
The
who they
reunion
are.
people, they usually have their.
Yes, right.
recognition.
And with the parades, we don't want to discourage anybody from participating, so we try to have as few rules as possible.
I'm sure.
And it used to be, downtown used to have a sound system, and so they would announce the floats. We would have them register so that we knew what order they were going to be in, and then we could announce. And I think that's something that the community is looking to try to get back in place as far as the sound system downtown. But without that, we don't really have a way to tell people who's coming or going, so they just line up.
I thought this parade was really great because there were bands from other towns.
Yes.
We haven't had that in a long time.
And we've had that conversation about how do we get those groups, how do we make them know ahead of time? Because, heydays comes right in September. So it's like they go back to school the middle or late August. And then we're like, hey, in 2 weeks, do you want to come to a parade? So
But,
trying to
it's
hit those
also-
groups up before.
A lot of those bands are doing marching and
Yes.
competitions and things like
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, so it's great to see the other bands come. And I don't know if there's other things, that they're involved in, or, it's hard to know what other
Other parades.
stuff in the same weekends or whatnot.
We were joking about like if Lexington's band came, they'd take up like 2 blocks.
Yes, so we do invite the other bands. So yeah, if there's any other schools that or anybody's affiliated with, we're happy to have them as part of it. I think that's something fun that the people watching enjoy too, so.
Well, I think even some of the bands, I couldn't tell where the town they were from. I don't know if I didn't look at the right time. at the
Probably
right
just has a
place.
banner right in the
Yeah,
front, I
banner's probably right in
suppose.
front.
Uh-huh.
And if you're not sure if they're with it or
That's
what.
when you just enjoy the music.
And we have to be careful where we put the bands and the horses.
Yes.
That's a lot of kids walking through.
They used to be the horses had to be at the back of the parade.
Yes, so.
Jose, how about you? Do you have any questions?
Luckily, most of them have been answered already, but going back to, the Music Monday, you said that's something that you introduced not too long ago, and before that, you've had events going on for quite some time.
Mhm.
So looking ahead to 2025, are there like certain events that you or other of the leaders are thinking of maybe doing that they kind of want to see if there will be interest in the community?
So I'm not aware of anything that's a brand new event that we're looking to put into place. Some things that we've done before, and we always kind of discuss, whether we want to. We've done the sand volleyball tournaments. We've done the 5K runs. We've done dueling pianos. So we just kind of try to, and also quite honestly, it comes down to membership. So, sometimes we just feel like we're stretched a little thin. And so when we do see an opening, we're like, okay, well, what can we, throw in there in June? And then it just kind of depends on, as people say, if 10 of our members are involved in this, that, and the other in that month, and they say, I cannot commit to helping any of that, then that's kind of a place where we have an indicator, I guess, where we can push something in at or not, but definitely, membership drives, the different events that we've tried to get some things off the ground that members were interested in, and we just couldn't, make it flow and didn't know enough about different things. So definitely always conversation about different events that, maybe somebody else is doing or that we'd like to put in place.
You talked about like teachers, new teachers, and I see that you have some brochures. I'm guessing you put those in the new teacher.
Right. So, yep,
packets.
we pass these out through the chamber when new people come to town. Anytime we have events, then they're out so that people can, and it's a fairly simple, just a brochure about, what some of our events are, because there's no registration, they don't need to sign up anymore. If you come to a meeting, then we kind of start to consider that you would like to do this. And then, we ask you your name and, do you want to be in this group message or, so there's not a lot of formality, I guess, with the group as far as that's concerned. So it's just kind of some details to let people know that it's a thing. And maybe get people thinking about it and maybe, talk to their friend at break and say, do you want to go to that meeting with me or whatever? So if you've considered it, we hope that people will come grab a coworker. You don't have to come by yourself, or if you want to, we're not scary, we promise. Not too intimidating and,
Oh, come on.
maybe we are, I don't know. I hope not. So.
Well, I really appreciate you being here
Yeah,
today.
I'm glad
So-
that you asked and that we had the opportunity because, I think it's definitely, like I said, volunteers, I think, are spread thin. There's a lot of things that people feel passionately about, and we try to make this a group that anybody who enjoys anything can be a part of, and you don't have to, if you don't want to come do an Easter egg hunt, you can't stand screaming little kids, then don't do the Easter egg
Well, I
hunt.
think you guys do just such a variety of things. Like,
Right.
the music is
Right.
very different than the holiday shop,
Right.
which is very different from Heydays.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
there is something for.
So some of them are goodwill, some of them are just fun, feel-good things, and so we try to be just involved.
And I'm sure there's people who, they don't want to necessarily do the organizing thing,
Right.
but they're just happy to help.
Yep.
You tell me what to do. and I'll
Yes,
do it.
that's exactly.
Like your husband.
Yes, like my husband. So yeah, he comes to the events, he'll be a semi-willing participant, I guess I should say. But the meeting is not really his thing. And, although we hope that people, even if you don't want to say anything or do anything at the meetings or actually organize, it's still a good way to know what's going on. So I would definitely encourage people to come to the meetings, even if you're not, you don't want to chair something, that's completely fine. We still appreciate the opinions, and the ideas of things that you want to do, and then somebody else can organize something that you want to get involved in. So, and the other thing that I would also say that's an excellent benefit of becoming a member of Cozad Community Leaders is it makes us aware of things that your other organizations or other things that you're involved in need. So, for example, when we have people from the fire department and they say, well, we are really looking to upgrade this or make this donation. And then people that are in the softball world, which is something that I cared about, still do care about. I don't want to imply that I don't. Or people with After Zone or the preschool Camp Kamika, the childcare. We had someone from their board on our group, and so they, made us aware that they were needing some funding for some things, and so we try to care about the things that our members care about.
Yeah, and when you said that, you guys used to do some, oh my goodness, you would think I would remember this, like the poker runs.
Oh, yeah.
You guys did poker runs in the
Yep,
past.
we did. So we used to do that as part with the Beans Brews. Then we would do the poker runs. And again, because we had some people that were motorcycle types. And so that was something that we kind of had an in to organize. And we have not done those for a couple years because the couple of people that spearheaded that have moved away from this community. And so we just don't have the knowledge, I guess, to continue that. But again, the proceeds from those things always went out to another organization. So something that's fun, it's a good day, it's you giving $20, and now we have a nice donation to help out with another project, so.
Well, again, gosh, our hour.
We
almost
did
went
go
by.
right through. I was worried. I was like, I'm nothing prepared. I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
You understood the
So.
assignment. All right, well, again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks, everybody.